If you're looking to improve your captain picks this season, whether it's to boost you up your mini leagues, your overall rank or your points in general, then you've come to the right place. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already so you don't miss any of my captain analysis videos. I put them out every game week. We've been a little bit unlucky these past 2 game weeks, but I'm sure we'll bounce back this week. So for this game week, we've got the exact same 3 players on the shortlist. We've got Bruno Fernandes against Aston Villa at home. We've got Harry Kane against Leeds United at home. And we've got Mohamed Salah away from home against Southampton. Let's get straight into it and have a look at the underlying stats. First of all, we can see that Harry Kane wins the non-penalty expected goals, and that's just by 0.03 ahead of Salah in second place. Whereas Bruno wins the expected assists, he also wins the non-penalty expected goal involvement by just 0.01 overall. But having a look at it really for the FPL circumstances, you get more points for a goal than an assist, so Kane wins it really overall. So if we apply that logic to Salah, he's got a similar expected FPL return points per 90 minutes to Bruno. The Egyptian has the most goals per 90 minutes on the list, whilst Kane has the most assists per 90 minutes on the list. If we look at it from a bird's eye view, we can see that Bruno and Kane are more reliable to get an output of returns, whilst Bruno and Salah have the best return points per 90 minutes. Part of this is down to Kane getting 4 points for a goal and Mohamed Salah and Bruno Fernandes getting 5. And one thing that we don't need to discuss this week is penalties, because all 3 of these players take penalties for their respective clubs. Let's compare the quality of the opposition's defence. One thing I just want to mention before we start on this part is that Aston Villa have played 2 less games than the other 2 opponents. So what I've done this week is I've added a new feature where I've applied 90 minutes to the expected goals conceded and the goals against stats. Aston Villa and Southampton have a similar quality of defence. And as for Leeds, in their last 2 matches they've kept 2 clean sheets, but they still have the worst expected goals conceded and the second worst goals against figures in the league. And that's just about reflected on the lower chance of getting a clean sheet this week in the odds, which there is only roughly a 1 in 10 chance of each team getting a clean sheet this week, which is really good for the 3 players on the shortlist. Analysing the probability of each player getting a return this week, Harry Kane dominates the goal market by 8%, whilst Bruno Fernandes has the best chance of getting an assist by 4%. But as you can see, the assist probability is actually quite close between the 3 players. And remember, as we mentioned earlier, you get more points for a goal than you do for an assist. So looking at it really, Harry Kane has the best chance of getting a return overall. And that is backed up by Fantasy Football Hub, who are backing him to get the most points this game week by 0.2. On the other hand, Fantasy Football Fix are backing Bruno Fernandes to get the most points by 0.7. And there's always a discrepancy between these 2 websites. So let's have a look at the fitness of each player. We can judge this by working out the amount of resting time in between each fixture. Now, the resting time before the fixture is more important because it means that the player has got fresh legs. But it's also important to work out the resting time after the fixture because it might mean the player comes off early so they can play the next match. I've highlighted the key information in green that I feel like is the most important to contributing to the player's fitness for this game week. First of all, we can see that Kane has had plenty of resting time before this fixture. He's had 5.5 days because the last Spurs match was cancelled. Salah also has 5 days of resting time, which is also pretty good, whilst Bruno Fernandes has only under 3 days resting time and he played 90 minutes in his last match. Now you might wonder why I've put an asterisk on the Kane and Salah resting time after this set of fixtures but not Bruno. It's because he plays against Manchester City in the semi-final, so he should be playing in that match. Whereas Kane, he does have a big fixture in the semi-final, but it's only against Brentford, so he might not play. And Salah plays against Villa, yeah, they're a Premier League club, but it's only the 3rd round of the FA Cup, so he might not play in that fixture either. But the Portuguese does have plenty of resting time after this match anyway. It's more the resting time before the match that I'm concerned about. Okay, so based on all of this information, I've made a decision. This player has the best non-penalty expected goals and the highest overall return output on the shortlist. He's got a home fixture against the team with the worst expected goals conceded and the second worst goals against in the league. His opponents also have the lowest chance of getting a clean sheet this week. He has the highest probability of getting a goal, or in fact an overall return. He's number 1 for the Fantasy Football Hub points predictions and number 2 for Fantasy Football Fix points projections. He also has the most rest before game week 17. It is none other than Harry Kane.